Hey, hey! Eat, sleep, RC. Yes, indeed. Thank you, RC Addict, for a great shirt. Today's video is to talk about the new body mount and bumper mount set that we're using on the J2 Skeleton. It works perfect with this Jeep body. In fact, it was designed exactly for this Jeep body. But you could use it on lots of other stuff because we figured out how to use the bumper mount posts as a body mount, and that might be handy for everybody. Have a look at this install, and we will show you how to set up these brand new parts for your skeleton truck build, and this is how you do it. So, the skeleton Jeep, we love this thing to death. This one, we have the Rampage bumper on the front, so we're not going to do the front bumper mount on this one, but we are going to do it on the back. And my favorite kind of bumper to use on these, if you're going to just build a stock running truck, is the Axial JK rear Poison Spider bumper. This is a fantastic unit. It comes with all the little bits and bobs to make the swing away tire carrier. And we like it because it actually looks authentic on the truck. It fits nice. It's really easy to do now, and we're going to show you how that is. So first of all, I'm going to pull this body off and show you what's underneath. And today we're going to highlight making use of a 1300 3-cell in the truck, a 2200 2-cell in the truck, and they fit underneath the back seat just fine with the new body mount and bracket setup. This is what you get when you order this part from Shapeways. It comes with the 2 battery straps, and that gives you 1 extra. It comes with the 2 side rail battery mount posts, and we have the body mount and rear bumper brackets that go onto the skeleton chassis. This one is the front bumper mount. The front bumper mount is super easy to install on the skeleton. We're going to do that in a minute. And I'll show you what we're using for hardware to get this put together. So, underneath the truck, up in the front, we have used all the time for a long time now on the radio tray. There's 2 screws on the front of the truck that bolt right into the rad support on the body. And these 2 screws just sit right in there. They thread directly into the original holes in the plastic bodywork. And then that creates your front body mount. It's that easy to get that off. A couple of screws and you're done. And so now the front body is free from the chassis. They actually go into the holes right there at the back of the little rad plastic with the headlight bucket on it. That part right there has a screw hole, and that's where the body mount attaches right there. And in the back, we have our brand new body mount set in the back already installed, so I'm going to pull these off. And all of the hardware, meaning all of the hardware, is a M3 button head 12mm long. That's what we're using for this entire kit. That will do all of the side screws. It will do all of the body mount screws. Everything that you need to put these new parts on your truck are right there with the 12mm long. So they fall out. Pull out the bumper, which just slides into the new holes that we've drilled in the back of the bodywork. They line up with the bumper like this. And so when we do the install, it just slides right into the new mount. And as if this wasn't enough to be a body mount, because it is, now you have a body mount on the chassis just because of these 2 posts. But if that wasn't enough, there's actually 2 screw holes here on the back of the body, these big heavy duty posts at the back of the body. And you can now use those for attaching onto the new brackets. So I'll drop that back down and show you. I'm going to use the yellow Jeep for this to show this off because it's really easy to distinguish the color. So if you have a look at how this is attached, we have these 2 posts on the body right there. They're right underneath here. You can see them in the side here a little bit. Right down in there. And that post goes right up into the chassis. You see that? The post fits right there in the chassis. And so when this sits down over top of it, you can put a screw in right there. There's a screw hole there, another one on this post, and you can drop a screw right in there and actually attach the body through the new bracket, just like that. And it makes this super solid mount in the back. So let's get rid of the body. And this is what it looks like now. We've got this, the brand new brackets go on the side of the rail in the forward position. And then these two big captures here actually hook onto those posts in the yellow body that we just showed. And then we have the extra parts here, which sit in between the two shock towers using these exterior holes. You probably wondered what those two holes were for. They hold the battery bracket on, and then there's a strap right here, and this strap can be used to hold your battery onto the underside of the truck. So that's what we're going to aim to do now with the red Jeep. And I'm going to tear apart the, tear into the red Jeep. We're going to open up these two pieces here, do the full install on these, and we're actually going to recreate something exactly like this. So, of course, our red Jeep has exactly the same setup. The bodies come with these two big posts in the back that we're going to use for body mounting. We pre-drilled the back of the body to use the bumpers. So you can see that the bumper posts will fit right in there, just like that. We also pre-drilled the front so that the front bumper posts could be used like this. And we're going to do the full install on the chassis right now, so you guys can see what to do. Now, let me clear some stuff out of the way here. So the first thing we're going to work on is the front. In the front, the chassis has these two holes in it here in the front of the chassis, and those are specifically spaced out to match up with this new bumper mount. And all you have to do to make this part work is when you get these from the Shapeways store, you can get those in the link below in the comment box. When you get these from Shapeways, they're printed in nylon, and kind of they're sintered from a nylon dust. And the holes that are in the side of the part actually still contain some nylon dust, so you just have to put a small drill in there, smaller than the hole. You don't want to cut new material, but you need to stick a little drill in there and actually just clear out some of the nylon dust. There's a little bit of residue left in the holes. It's a common thing. Knock out the dust. And that means that when you do put your 12mm screw down in there, it's going to go all the way to the bottom and you'll have nothing interfering. Now, this is the rear body mount and battery mount bracket set. This has the exact same setup. It's manufactured the same way with the nylon, so we're actually going to take the same drill and we're going to go through the holes here and just pull out the nylon dust. You might be able to see that. There's actually a little bit of dust coming out. There's a couple holes here on the sides, right there through the side brackets. You can just stab your drill through there and poke out the dust. Now, there's really no material there that you need to cut out, so just find a small drill that you can use as mostly just a poker, and I turn it a little bit, just sort of cleans the dust out, and then you're done with that part too. So you don't need the drill cleaning anymore. And we're going to install this part here first in the front. Basically just get some 12mm screws and put this in. You can do your install, it doesn't matter which way you put the bumper through bolt. You can put the through bolt in the front or the back, doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it in toward the rear. And we're going to line this up with the front of the chassis here. And when you first start the threads, it's a good idea to just give it a bit of a push so that your new threads will start clean in the nylon. We'll just give that a push here and leave that loose until we get the other side on as well. Back this up a little bit. And the nylon is nice, you know. Using this for body mounts and bumper mounts, somebody might say, well, last time I had a plastic bumper mount, it didn't last very long. That might be the case, but we are doing scale trucking here. Keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that we've been manufacturing, through Shapeways, we've been manufacturing Terramod actual drive axles underneath a ton of our comp trucks now for years and years. And they hold up really, really well. So I have no problems putting a nylon sintered bumper mount on the truck. I just have absolutely no worries about that at all. So we will get these 4 screws put in here in the front body mount, bumper mount. I told you about the yellow Jeep where we have the side mounted bumper rails on it. Those holes that I'm using for a body mount there are right here on the radio tray. There's the 2 holes right there. Those match up to that rad support holes. So makes it easy. We'll just run these screws in here, right into the nylon. We've got the dust cleared out of the holes and they just run right in. Yep. There, that's on. Now, in the back, we need to bolt on the new brackets and bumper mount. So, first of all, we have to separate all the pieces from this. The nylon is, like I said, is really tough stuff, so don't be afraid to just sort of bend it and break it off. That's what these little sprues are for. You're actually supposed to break these apart. So, you can just snap these smaller ones off. They snap off pretty easy. And then usually you have a little bit more of a fight with the longer sprue in the middle. If you twist it around, you can cut it off. And then with a utility knife, try to use a table or something like this that you can push against so you don't end up chopping your finger off. And we're just going to go through and cut off the little sprues that are left over. On the battery straps, there's a little bit of a sprue left over. We'll just clean all that up. As soon as you get to it with the knife, it just pops right off. There's really not much strength against a knife like this. It's not like we're cutting aluminum or something. You got to push kind of hard, but once you get into it, it just pops right off. So, pretty easy. We're going to pop these off. There we go. And you can see that the sprues have left a little bit of white dots. All of the black nylon that comes from Shapeways is actually white nylon, and then it's dyed black. So the outside area is really, really strong, and the inside is just white nylon. So once you cut through the surface, you get to the white. That's normal. Normal. Don't freak out. Now what we're going to do is assemble these. The batteries side plates, as you can see, these bolt onto the shock tower, and you can see how the mounting screws here are actually not in the center. They're way down low, unless you mounted it like this, and then they'd be way up high. So what ends up happening is when you attach these into the truck, like this, you can actually attach the battery mount so that it sits higher or lower depending on which screw hole you use for the attachment onto the shock tower. So in our setup, we like to use the 1300 3-cell. This is, I think it's like a 30 millimeter thick or something like that. And we also use the 2200 2-cell, which is a little thinner, a little longer, a little bit longer than the 3-cell, but thinner. And so you just have to set up the battery strap and the shock tower mount here. Just set that up in a way that actually works for your truck. Now we're going to do it again like this on the red Jeep. So we're going to do it so that the strap is actually taller away from the body, which means we're going to mount this side rail in the lowest position. Very easy to do here. We're just going to grab this, get a little metric 3x12 screw, put that in the shock tower, and we're going to mount this, whoopsie, going to mount this on in the lower position, which is like this. The 3x12 screws are plenty long enough. They pretty much go all the way through the mount holes, so you're going to get the maximum amount of strength with these. I don't think that you need a whole lot of strength when you're just holding a battery in and stuff like that. But the reality is, you might as well put it in the best you can. I'm going to have to move my shock here out of the way so I can get to my battery screw, my battery mount screw. I'll just back that up another hole. There we go. And I'll run this one in here. This is one of those products that we found absolutely no use in machining it in metal. The price would have gone way up because of the complexity of the surfaces and holes and all that stuff, and there was no point in making a metal body mount or battery strap set when the nylon will more than easily do the job. So I'll move this shock back another hole, same as the other side, and tighten that back up. And then we'll run the battery strap in here, the battery mount. I need to cut these off too, I forgot to trim these. There we go. And this is going in the high mount, so down low. You can see here the screw pretty much is the same thickness as the actual part, and it's got lots and lots and lots of screw bite. Lots and lots. You might notice a running theme on these two Jeeps too. Most of these trucks that we build, we use G-made drive shafts, the Junfac drive shafts. They work very, very well for us. We've got years and years of life out of them. They get a little shot of lubricating oil at the beginning of every run. We use fluid film for lubricating the CVD shafts. They just get a little shot of oil before we take them out. Same with the wheel axles. And then we're done. They work great. So, I got that tightened up. And you can see the screws just sit right there in the shock tower holes. And then they come almost through here on the battery straps. Now, there's a top and a bottom on these posts. There's a post here right above the axle housing, which you're not going to be able to use because you're going to need the room for your suspension compression. But this one here on the bottom will definitely be used. And the reason we put 4 posts on it is because if for some reason you actually happen to snap one off, I can't imagine that happening, but if you did, you can simply reverse the 2 posts, turn them around and reverse them, and you actually can just keep reusing the same parts. We also sent 2 of these battery straps, which are reversible. You can mount them in the high position or in the low position. And the battery straps, there's actually 2 of them on the sprue, and the reason is because then you have an extra should you happen to break one, which we highly doubt you will ever do. But there's lots of extra parts. So we're going to install these here now. This has 2 holes in the sides, which we cleared out with the drill already. And there's the capture and the screw hole up top here that goes onto the red body. There's the hole that goes all the way through for the bumper mount, and the bumper mount has the set screw locking pin hole as well. So we're going to get more 12mm hardware here and just run these into the sides. They go in the far two holes, the back two holes. And lots and lots of thread bite on these. There's a ton of thread bite. I find it easier sometimes to put one screw in just slightly and then start the second one, so that they hold each other in line while you're tightening them up. And we will get this put together here in just a moment. The nylon material is actually quite abrasive, so you'll find that the screws get really tight in the nylon after you get them about 2 or 3 turns away from the bottom. They start to get really tight, and it's not because they're bottoming out in the hole, it's because the nylon is actually very abrasive, and it's heating up your screw. If you try to install this with a power drill, with some kind of a drill, you might find that it starts to smoke. Not the drill, but the screw. The screw might actually start smoking because it's so abrasive that the screw gets really hot if you turn it fast enough, like on a drill. And you can actually melt the nylon with the screw, trying to put it in too fast. It's funny stuff. These are getting pretty tight at the bottom. And all you got to do is seat the screw. They don't have to be cranked down like, you know, really crazy tight or anything. They just have to be in their positions. So we've got the 2 mount brackets attached there now. And they're ready for the body post to sit in and for the bumper post to sit in. So we're going to attach this on here now and show you how to do that. This, of course, on the red body, we poked the bumper holes through so that we could slide this right on. And I love the way these look, by the way. This is a really clean look for this truck. The bumper from Axial is the perfect size for the hard body, and we're going to reuse that. And as you can see, the posts come through with lots of meat left over, and we're going to use both of these bumpers for a body mount. So, real simple for us now. We're just going to drop this on and line it up. We'll line it up at the back here so that these original body posts on the red Jeep fit down onto the posts that we've added, the receptacles that we've added. So we'll push those down like that. You can see that just fits right on there now. And it fits down here on top of the body post under the seat. There we go. And the front is just sitting in there. And we're going to take the rear bumper now and just simply slide it through the holes that we've made. And we're going to line it up with the holes that we've got in the mount. So you can see there the bumper posts are going through the red body, and then they go right into the new mounts almost all the way through. And we can drop in the set screw pin in here, and we've mounted the body now. The frame and the body are now connected just because we've got the bumper post going through the red. And in the front, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to take the front bumper here and drop that right in there. Align it in the center. Slide that all the way in. And we've got the front bumper mounted. Fits the truck really nice. The rear bumper's mounted, front and back, and we've actually created a body mount system now for this Jeep where it's all completely connected. The chassis is now attached to the body using the bumper posts, and because of that we can simply pull these out. Pull out the back one, slide her out like that, and then we can lift off the shell and we have it all put together. There we go. Now, how do you want to attach the battery? I'm going to show you the battery attachment on the yellow Jeep because it shows up a little better. And so we'll put this one aside. Now, this chassis is the same setup. Even though we have the side rail mounted bumper on the front, it's an RC 4-wheel drive SCX10 bumper, and we've bolted it right to the sides of the skeleton rails, right inside the rails. We're going to drop this lid on. Again, line up the back posts, and I'm going to put in the front body mount screws just so that this is not flapping around a bit. And in this setup, we are not going to take off the body pretty much ever, because the body is screwed on through the tray here. I can't actually see what I'm doing. Let me try to find out what I'm doing. There we go. So we put the 2 screws in the front. These screws, by the way, are a metric 3 by 25. And there we go. They sit right down there nice and flat, and you don't need to put much torque on them. All they do is tighten the frame down so that the bumper is actually sitting on the body, and it works great. We will push this one down too, and then we're all set. Now in the back, we've got the 2 screws that are going to go into these back body mount holes. So I'm going to drop in a metric 3 by 12 in there. I'm going to drop in a 3 by 12 in there, and put these screws in. And I'll put this one in. And when they hit bottom, then you're done. That's it. So, the body is now mounted with screws instead of with the bumpers. We still could, if you want, we could still use this as the body mount. But you also might want to not use a pin bumper, a post bumper, and you might want to use a side mounted bumper or a custom bumper like what we do on some of the comp trucks. And so the screw mounting actually becomes really fantastic and effective at that point. So let's put the battery in here. You can see there's the battery strap here, and we're going to pull out these clips. The clips on the battery tray are actually just your regular old axial body clips. There's nothing fancy about these at all. It's just a standard body pin, you know. And then the cover, the little clip comes off. That's all it is. So if you want to use a 1300 3-cell, which is one of our favorites for these, I'm going to stick the wiring in the back, drop the battery in the front, and there we go. Tuck that inside, and then I'll put the strap back on. We can put the clips on like that. I will get this clip on here. I could probably get in there with my fingers and do it, but I find it just a little bit easier to get in there with the pliers, and there we go. So the battery has quite a bit of space still. You could probably fit a much wider pack. You might even be able to fit a shorty pack in there. There's quite a bit of space. Lots of room for the wiring. It's out of the way of the compression on the suspension, so you don't have to worry about the battery getting knocked around by the suspension movement. That's the limit there, and there's still lots of space. And the battery is in there strong enough that you don't have to worry about it falling out. There's a little bit of slide room if you wanted to. You could put some foam blocks in it or something, but that'll work fine. And so we'll pull this out. I'll just grab this one here, pull that out. And we'll switch the battery over to the 2200, which incidentally, because it's a little bit longer and just the way the batteries actually sit in the truck, the 2200 battery that we're using here, which is the same size as a Traxxas Mini Revo, by the way, this battery, it'll sit right in there in the exact same spot as the 3-cell, just because it happens to be a little bit longer and it goes a little bit farther in the chassis. It goes towards the rear of the body a little bit farther, and so it's on a little bit of a different angle. And so when you put these ones on, you can very easily use exactly the same battery setup, which is kind of handy, you know. If you are like me and you have a few of the 3-cell packs to use on the trail and you have a few 2-cell packs for different trucks, you can bring them all and still use them all in the same battery mount setup. Like I said, this is in the lowest position, and so if you're using a different size of battery, you can turn these mounts around and change the height. You can change the way the strap is sitting. So the strap could be mounted upright or the strap could be mounted upside down. And you got lots of different options there for setting that up. It's easy to plug in your wiring at the back here. And now you've got your battery mount and you've got your body mount. And it's ready to go. We're ready to go on the trail. Thanks for watching, guys. It's good to see you again. And if you have any questions, send an email to gcmracing.ca or to tinytrucks.com, and we will set you up with some answers for your build questions. Enjoy your RCing, guys. See you later.